Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra 2, Section 3.7 Notes, Day 2. Today we are going to continue our conversation about solving linear inequalities. Please go ahead and have this sheet printed out, or if you want to, you can go ahead and just follow along on a blank sheet of notebook paper. Alright, so linear inequalities. When we solve linear inequalities, we are solving for x, and we do that by following the rules of SADMAP, the reverse order of operations. So if we want to get that x all by itself, we have to get rid of that 3. And we want to do the inverse operation. So instead of adding, we are going to subtract. And we get x is less than 1. Okay? So that is saying x is only less than 1. Okay? So what's a number less than 1? I can't hear you, so I'm going to think you said 3, or 0. So 0 plus 3. 0 plus 3 is 3. Is that less than 1? Or less than 4? True. Okay. Now on the flip side, if we picked a different number, say 5, it's 5 plus 3 less than 0? Well, that gives us 8. And 8 is not less than 4. That is a false statement. Okay? All right, example number 2. Now, right here, we have multiplication. To get rid of multiplication, we need to divide. And we're going to divide by a negative 2. And we get x is less than or equal to negative 2. So x is less than or equal to negative 2. Let's try that out. Let's pick negative 3. So negative 2 times negative 3 less than or equal to 4. Well, negative 2 times negative 3, that gives us positive 6. Is positive 6 less than or equal to 4? That's false. Okay? So here is a very important rule. Make sure to write this down. If you multiply or divide by a negative number, you must flip the inequality. Okay? So let's do this problem again. Negative 2x less than or equal to 4. We're going to divide by negative 2. We get x, negative 2, and then you need to flip the sign. Okay? So that's what we flip. And let's find this out. So x is greater than or equal to negative 2. So let's pick a number greater than negative 2. Say negative 1. Negative 2 times negative 1 is 2, and is 2 less than or equal to 4? That is true. Okay, so now we figured out what our sign is. All right, example number 1. To solve for t, right now is division, so we want to do the inverse. So we are going to divide both sides by negative 6. We're left with t, negative 2. We just divided by negative, so we have to make sure to flip the sign. Okay? So writing that in set notation, okay, that's all you have to do. We still need to do interval. Before we do interval, let's draw the graph. We've got negative 2, negative 1, 0, negative 3, negative 4. And it's greater than or equal to, so that means we're going to close it up and we're going to shade to the right. So my interval notation means we're going to start at -2, so that's a closed bracket, and our answer goes to infinity. All right, example number 2. Same thing. Solve for x. We're going to subtract 7 to both sides. You get -1/2 x is greater than -2. Now, to get the x by itself, we're going to have to multiply, and we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So we're going to times that by the reciprocal, -2/1, -2/1. Those guys cancel. X, -2 times -2 is 4, but we just multiplied by a negative, so we have to flip that sign. Okay? And our set notation, it's right there. Okay, we still need interval, but let's go ahead and graph. So we got 4, 5, 6, 3, 2. It's an open circle because it's just less than, so we're going to shade to the left. Okay, and that helps us do the interval notation, which is -infinity to 4, and both of those are parentheses. All right, number 3, go ahead and pause the video. You guys are up all by yourself. Okay, there you go. Now, at the very end, did we divide by a negative? No, we didn't. Okay, so if you don't divide by negative, you keep the sign. You do not flip it. All right, let's move on to example number 4. Okay, example number 4's got the parentheses outside, which means we have to distribute. So let's go ahead and distribute, and we get 2x minus 2 greater than or equal to, and we have to distribute to the other side as well, which is 4x minus 12. Okay, solving for x, we want to get our variable on one side. So we're going to subtract the 4x, because on an inequality, you always want your variable on the left side. So -2x minus 2 greater than or equal to -12. Add the 2 to both sides. We get -2x greater than or equal to -10. We're dividing by -2. So x 5, we just divided by a negative, so we have to make sure to flip that sign. Okay? And then writing that in set notation, we have to write it in interval, and we need to graph. So 5, 6, 7, 4, 3. We have a closed circle at 5, and it is less than, so we're going to shade to the left. Interval notation, we are starting at -infinity, and we're going to 5, and that is closed, so we're going to use a bracket. All right, last one. Nice and difficult, you guys are all on your own. Go ahead and pause the video. Okay, and there's your answer. Just remember that you need to distribute that 3 to everything on the left side, distribute the 2 to everything on the right, combine your like terms, start solving for x, and when you divide by a negative, you have to flip that sign. Okay? Well, that's it for Algebra 2, Chapter 3.7 Notes, Part 2. Once again, if you have any questions, please come find Ms. Carranza or myself. We would love to help you out. Thanks for watching, guys.